Have you ever caught her glance from across the room and felt that spark, but she didn't say a single word? That tiny smile, the subtle brush of hair, the way her eyes lingered just a fraction longer, these are not coincidences. These are micro moments, the secret signals women use to show interest without ever speaking. Today, we're diving deep into the science of these tiny gestures, and I promise, once you understand them, you'll start noticing signs you've been missing your entire life. Micro moments are the building blocks of attraction. They are tiny, almost imperceptible signals that communicate curiosity, connection, and sometimes desire. Scientists call this nonverbal communication, but in reality, it's far more complex. It's instinct, psychology, and subtle social strategy all rolled into one. Take, for example, the way a woman's body moves when she's interested. It's not dramatic, there's no flashing neon sign, but subtle cues like leaning slightly forward, keeping her feet pointed in your direction, or lightly touching her neck or hair are all subconscious signs that your presence matters. Neuroscience shows that these micro moments activate dopamine in the brain, the feel-good chemical that makes interactions memorable. Now, the eyes are the windows to the micro moment. Eye contact is perhaps the most powerful signal a woman can give. But it's not just staring, it's the timing, the frequency, the way her pupils dilate when she looks at you. Studies show that pupil dilation happens when someone is attracted or emotionally engaged. So, if you notice her pupils subtly changing when she's around you, that's a scientific clue that she's interested. It's also in the little touches. A light touch on your arm while laughing, or a gentle brush when passing by, may seem casual, but these micro moments release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, creating a subconscious connection. Women do this instinctively, not always intentionally. They may not even realize they're signaling interest, but your brain notices. Micro moments are amplified by mirroring. If she subconsciously copies your posture, gestures, or speech patterns, it's her mind saying, "I feel a connection with you." Psychology calls this the chameleon effect, and it happens automatically when we are attracted or comfortable. It's a silent, invisible dance of mutual interest. Let's not forget the role of timing and proximity. If she finds excuses to be near you, whether it's standing closer in a crowded room or walking next to you on a narrow path, she's creating opportunities for micro moments. Even the smallest intentional movement toward you can signal subconscious interest, triggering your brain's attention and emotional engagement. Then there's the subtle art of teasing. Women often use light teasing as a playful micro moment to test boundaries and build rapport. A teasing remark, a sly smile, or a humorous challenge can spark tension that's exciting without saying "I like you." These moments work because they engage your mind and emotions, creating a mini emotional roller coaster that keeps you thinking about her long after the interaction ends. Micro moments also occur in conversation, in pauses and intonations. A slightly higher-pitched laugh, lingering on your words longer than necessary, or leaning in when you talk, all signal engagement. Experts in social psychology emphasize that attention is attraction. How a woman listens and reacts in tiny ways is often a more powerful signal than words. And here's where science gets even more fascinating. Women often reveal interest through subtle contrast. For instance, if she's generally composed but suddenly shows a tiny burst of nervous energy around you, it's a micro moment alert. Her subconscious is saying, "You matter." The tiny fidget, the nervous laugh, the soft blush, all invisible to the untrained eye but clear to those who understand human behavior. You might think words matter most, but the truth is, humans are wired to respond to nonverbal cues first. Evolutionary psychology shows that before language, early humans communicated attraction, trust, and intent entirely through body language. These patterns haven't changed. Women's subtle gestures are echoes of that ancient, instinctual communication system. The science of micro-moments also explains the mysterious pull of mystery. When she drops small hints, like a playful glance, a fleeting touch, or a laugh that fades too quickly, she is creating anticipation. Your brain is wired to crave closure, and when she leaves micro moments unresolved, your mind unconsciously invests in decoding them. That's why attraction often feels magnetic and almost impossible to resist. Even the tiniest details can be revealing. How she arranges her hair, adjusts her clothing when you're nearby, or tilts her head while listening, these are micro moments of interest. They're tiny, effortless, and completely nonverbal, but they communicate volumes if you pay attention. So how do you spot these moments? It starts with mindful observation. Notice patterns. Does she repeatedly make subtle gestures toward you? Does she mirror your movements? Does her body orientation consistently favor you? Does she create opportunities for fleeting touch or shared experiences? Each of these is a data point in the complex language of micro-moments. Now here's the golden insight. Micro-moments are rarely accidental. They are often subconscious, yes, but they are reinforced by emotional feedback. If a woman notices your positive reaction, your smile, your attention, your engagement, her brain rewards her for creating these moments. This is why attraction is a conversation that happens silently, before a single word is ever spoken. Understanding micro-moments gives you the power to decode interest early. You'll notice patterns you never saw before, and you'll feel more confident recognizing when someone is attracted without them ever saying it. More importantly, you'll respond with authenticity, mirroring her engagement, maintaining strong but gentle eye contact, and responding to small gestures creates a feedback loop that intensifies connection. Micro-moments don't just indicate interest. They create it. Each glance, smile, and touch nudges your emotional brain, forming subtle bonds that words often fail to capture. The smartest people in attraction know that the dance happens in silence first, and the words come later. Here's a practical tip. Pay attention to micro-moments and everyday interactions. Notice when she leans closer, when her feet point toward you, when her tone shifts slightly in your presence. These are invisible signals that are often more truthful than anything she could say. And remember, it's the consistency of micro-moments that matters most. A single gesture can be a coincidence, but a pattern? That's intentional interest. Another interesting factor is playful vulnerability. Women may drop small hints of vulnerability, like revealing a personal anecdote, sharing a small fear, or laughing at herself, within micro-moments. This is a silent way of saying, "I trust you." And trust is the first step in attraction. Finally, remember this. Micro-moments are everywhere. In a shared laugh, a lingering glance, the way she tucks her hair behind her ear while looking at you, or the tiny ways she remembers details you mentioned in passing. Each of these tiny cues builds an invisible emotional bridge that connects her to you. The more you understand these signals, the more you'll see the subtle but powerful ways